Hometown Station AM 1220 KHTS. Make sure you go to hometownstation.com for all the latest and greatest in Santa Clarita. We're speaking with David. Dave.
Dave.
Okay, let's go with Dave. Dave Foucar. He is from LifeTank, and we were talking about what LifeTank is. You can find more information at lifetanks.com. Or keep listening. I wanted to ask you, though, how did you get involved with purifying water purification, I guess, is what.
Yeah, well, we developed the product. We are an engineering services company and launched a subsidiary to bring this product to market. And the product was developed in the wake of Superstorm Sandy and Hurricane Katrina and other disasters, seeing lots of folks who had issues accessing water. The product was designed simply to meet that need, really a desire to help folks and meet that need. And we entered a market that we, frankly, didn't know a whole lot about. So we're trying to meet that need, and we're being educated about a lot of things as we go along.
Learning as you go.
That's right.
That's good. Okay, so people traditionally now, in terms of, and it's so important to emergency preparedness, when you're out shopping, just grab a case of water. Just do it. And then once you get that case of water, once you feel that you're ready, get a LifeTank. And then and there you go. But compared to what people do now, traditionally, how does LifeTank compare to like the regular, like people have giant water barrels in their garage, or storing water bottles underneath their bed or whatever. How does LifeTank compare to that?
Well, since you mentioned water bottles, let me mention that first. Going to the store and picking up a case of water bottles, first you have to understand that in an emergency they may not be available. So you do need to be prepared. But the other issue with water bottles, or what's frequently used, are water barrels that store about 55 gallons or 5-gallon water drums or water bottles. The issue with those is stagnation. They do, and most people don't realize that they have a shelf life. Generally speaking, about 6 months for tap water. Bottled water may be longer or less depending on transportation, logistics, how long has it been on the shelf, what storage variables are considered. All of those things, heat, sunlight, will change the shelf life of the water. So that water needs to be either rotated frequently or treated in order to ensure that it's safe to drink. All those things add significant complications to the issue, and again, what we're trying to provide is a solution that provides assurance that you don't have to worry about all of those things. There's no maintenance. You don't have to worry about rotating water. There's no pumping the water out of the barrel. There is no purification or filtration needed. The water is just simply available because the system does the work for you, which is the biggest asset. A lot of time and trouble is required to do the maintenance, and frankly, we've spoken to a lot of people within the industry, and even those who know what maintenance is required just simply neglect to do it, and others are surprised to know that they're not doing what they should do.
And so you said that you got to get a pump for a regular water barrel. You don't have to have, what accessories do you need for the LifeTank?
Well, the only accessories for LifeTank are a hose to hook it up and an earthquake strap in most cases. Then that comes with the system. For a water barrel, as an example, there are pumps required. You can get a stacking rack in order to make that system horizontal so that the pump can be eliminated. It needs to be sealed and closed so that the water doesn't get contaminated. If used, then it needs to be refilled. There also are wrenches and a number of other accessories that are required, and that adds to the cost of the barrel. One of the misleading items for folks as they look at water solutions is they appear much less expensive than they are.
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because you're naming all this stuff. I'm thinking you just put a barrel of water in your garage and seal it up and wait for an emergency. But it seems like it's costing a lot more than we think.
It is costing more than expected. But the real big difference is the convenience factor and the maintenance factor and the assurance that's provided. But when you add all of those costs together, it is much more expensive than people realize to have a simple water barrel.
There you have it. So what do we need to consider when we're deciding on what water solution to use?
Well, the first thing is determining how much water you need. As I said, we really recommend 2 to 3 weeks water as a minimum. For some people believe that you need a longer period of time, even up to several months. Some earthquake experts.
That's a lot of water.
Yes, suggests that if there is a major earthquake, or I shouldn't say if, but when there is a major earthquake, that the water supply, gas supply, electricity, and transportation may be interrupted for up to a period of months.
Yeah.
So the first thing you needed to do is decide how much water and what period of time you need, and then determine how many people are in your home. Include large pets as well. A large dog takes as much water as a person does. And then calculate the volume of water needed. For example, a family of 4, assuming 2 gallons a day, as we suggest, requires 8 gallons of water per day. That is 80 gallons for 10 days. So if you would decide 1 gallon, well, of course, that's 20 days. So again, 2 to 3 weeks, 80 to 120 gallons should cover the average family. But again, that can be expanded to larger capacity.
Man, a lot of stuff to consider.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and let's take a break, and we'll talk about if we have a natural disaster.
Okay.
Then what?
Yes.
So we'll get maybe some emergency preparedness tips with Dave Foucar from LifeTank, lifetanks.com. If you want more information, or give them a call, 855-422-3131. More with Dave Foucar of LifeTank after this.